Wait, the progress.
We're not going to do a length check every week.
Then what is the point?
The point is for you to have a routine.
The point is about
what you keep getting these hair ties from that are not authorized by me.
I've been had those.
Okay, welcome to episode 2 of the Life After Relaxer series. That's what I decided to name it. So today we are doing a protein treatment. Your first protein treatment in
forever.
You never had a protein treatment ever in life?
Never, ever, ever.
Okay. Well, we're gonna be using somebody told me it was pronounced AFOG. I think AFOG sounds better to me, but if that's what y'all say, I'm gonna take y'all word for it. So the way that hold on, let me grab it. So the way that this works, oh, maybe I should have had the bottle, but everybody knows what the bottle looks like, I'm pretty sure. You can just look up AFOG protein treatment. It's like one of the most popular protein treatments that are available. I just poured it in here to make it easier to apply because they don't give it to you in a spray bottle. So how it works is I'm gonna spray this on your hair and then detangle. I think I can detangle. I'm gonna take a piece. Actually, I'll use it from the brush because I want to do a porosity test while you're sitting with this. So the way that this is gonna work is I'm gonna spray it in her hair and then she's gonna sit under the hooded dryer for about 30 minutes, maybe I'm gonna say 30 minutes until your hair completely dries. Then you're gonna rinse it out, and I have the second step, which is that purple bottle that's downstairs, and then you could just put that in your hair and leave it in for like a minute or two, and just gonna soften your hair, and then we can do the actual wash day styling process. So for now, we're just gonna put this in your hair. Where is the satin scrunchie that I assigned to you?
I didn't want to get it wet.
It's okay if it gets wet. Okay, so how I'm gonna do this is maybe 4 sections, and maybe a top and a bottom section. So when you do I actually want to talk about the shampoo process because that's something that I forgot to talk about last week, but I wanted to discuss because it's important. How long would you say your shampoo process lasts?
Probably 10 to 15 minutes.
You think so?
Like 10 minutes?
You spend 10 minutes shampooing your hair?
I feel like I do. I've never timed myself, so I don't know accurately, but it feels like 10 minutes.
And what does that look like? Like, walk me through. The details are important. This is like really sticky, so I'll just make sure, like, if you don't want your ears and stuff, that you hold that up. Walk me through your shampoo process. Like, you turn the water on. How long does the water run through your hair? Like,
initially I run it through maybe for a minute, everything is wet. Water usually holds in my hair, so I don't have to take a long time like wetting it. I take the shampoo. I start with the tips of the ends of my hair, and then I work my way up to the scalp. I massage my scalp, brush my scalp, I guess, if you want to call it that.
And you brush your scalp?
Not with an actual brush, but like my fingers. I don't know how else to like word it, but like, I don't want to say scrape, but like, scrub is a good word.
I don't think you're supposed to do that. I think you're supposed to use your finger pads to rub your scalp, not your nails.
Okay. I think I usually use my nails.
I would stop using your nails.
But I also use my finger pads. Like I use that to massage and like rub it. But then I also scrub with my nails. So then I rinse that out, and then I do that process about 2 to 3 times.
Okay. That sounds pretty good. I would say, based on what I'm seeing from how your hair responds to me adding product to it, I feel like you definitely do have high porosity hair. But I would still maybe let the water run through your hair for like 2 to 3 minutes. I try to do 5 minutes because I have low porosity hair, but you really just want your hair to absorb water, as much water as possible, before you start applying products. So, but if you have high porosity hair, that's not really an issue, but I would still let it, as much water run through as possible so you can have your hair absorb as much water as possible. So we're doing a protein treatment. Protein treatments, a lot of people, actually this is a good point. If we're going to do a porosity test, but if you do have high porosity, a lot of naturals have heard that high porosity hair can tolerate protein. So I saw somebody said they were doing like protein treatments every wash day, and then bond builders every other wash day, and that is just too much. Like, high porosity hair can handle protein, but there is still such thing as doing too much. And if you do too much, it will cause breakage because it makes your hair stiff, and it's just not something that needs to be done every 5 seconds. I understand the desire of wanting to have long hair, wanting to have healthy hair, but you don't want to overdo it. I think using protein treatments when needed, but ultimately just focusing on low manipulation and moisture is going to get you a lot farther than overloading your hair with treatments that it doesn't need. So I really would focus on simplifying your routine more than I would focus on adding treatments, because treatments sound nice. It's like you're gonna add like a boost of something that you think your hair doesn't have, but a lot of times it really just doesn't need it, and you're adding more stress to your hair and setting yourself back.
How long would you say one needs to add a protein treatment?
Everybody's different. So some people will need a protein treatment maybe once a month, some people every 2 months. You really have to develop the muscle of knowing what your hair needs and understanding what your hair likes and responds well to and doesn't respond well to, because you can see people saying, oh, I do a protein treatment once a month, and it might work for them to do it once a month, and you're following their hair growth routine. They've already figured out what works for them, but you haven't figured out what works for you. So you can only take people's advice with a grain of salt. Like, even, I think, what did I say last week? Oh, when I was talking about the banding method, and I say I do 2 sections and I think you should do 1, and you were saying that you wouldn't have known to do 1 for your hair. I think anytime you hear someone say something, you can try it for yourself, but you should try it as a test and not as like the rule for yourself. So try it to see if it works, but be prepared always to make adjustments so that you're not following what somebody else does and works for them, because you and them are not the same.
So based on what you're saying now with my hair, can you determine how many protein treatments I should be doing per year? Or is it something where you would have to do the protein treatment in full and then be able to tell?
I would say maybe we can start you off by doing 1 protein treatment every 6 weeks and seeing how your hair responds to that. If I feel like it's not enough, maybe we can do every 4 weeks. And then if I feel like it's too much, maybe we can do 1 every 8 weeks. But that's really the journey that everybody has to go on, is experimentation until you get it. You really just can't predict and be like, oh, I know for a fact my hair will like this, until you've actually done it. And I forgot what I was gonna say. Maybe it'll come back to me. But yeah, there's no way for you to like know until you experiment.
Well, how do you know if someone needs a protein treatment?
Usually if there's a lot of breakage, because your hair is made up of protein, so it needs protein to be strong. Sometimes if your hair is too mushy, some people will notice their hair is like, it feels like overly moisturized and it's too elastic. I don't know how to describe, like mushy, like it feels like overly moisturized, or when you stretch it, it just stretches and it's too elasticy and feels like limp. That would be like a sign that you need a protein treatment. Does that make sense?
Yes. And what would be a sign that I'm overusing the protein treatment?
Lots of breakage. If your hair is hard and stiff, sometimes too dry, that could be a sign that's too much protein. So those are signs to look out for. A lot of people experience having like stiff or hard hair after using a protein treatment. That's more so people with low porosity hair experience that. And if you do have low porosity hair and your hair is feeling like that after a protein treatment, just deep condition your hair with a moisturizing deep conditioner, like the Capri's Moisture Transfusion Deep Conditioner, and that should usually correct that. But yeah, you definitely don't want to be using protein treatments too often. And what I was going to say, I remembered, is that there's a difference between like an actual protein treatment like this and then like a protein deep conditioner, which usually doesn't have, like, it has protein in it, but it's usually not as strong or as concentrated as an actual protein treatment, because some people will alternate deep conditioners and use a moisturizing deep conditioner in 1 week and then a protein treatment deep conditioner the next week, and those protein treatment deep conditioners usually don't have as much protein in it as like an actual protein treatment. So that might be fine, but again, you'll have to experiment, see what your hair likes. like the lady I was talking to at my job today, I think she's the same age as your sister, but she was wearing her natural hair, and it was so cute. When I saw her walk in, I was like, oh, I like her hair a lot. And then she introduced herself to me, and she said, I like your hair. And I was like, oh, thank you. And then we were just talking about hair for a while, and she was telling me she was on her journey of like just figuring out what works, and I was trying to give her some encouragement. She looked like she was stressed out about it, but her hair looked really nice, and I was happy to see her like wearing her hair and starting that journey. And I hope that I usually see her on Saturdays. She just comes in to pick up her package, so I hope to see her again, and maybe we'll start talking. Maybe I can give her some tips or something. So we're gonna let this sit under a dryer for 30 minutes, and then we will be back. Okay, so it's been 30 minutes under the dryer. This is what her hair is looking like. It says you have to let it fully dry in your hair. This looks fully dry, but there's like flakes. You see how this part is like white right here? But it feels fully dry to me, and can't move. So now she's gonna rinse it out. I told her to use the purple two-step thing just to like add a little bit of softness, and we'll see. I don't think we're gonna deep condition today because that's gonna take an extra 20 minutes, but I think that you should be okay without the deep conditioner, but we'll deep condition if needed. So she's gonna go rinse this out. Okay, so we just rinsed out the protein treatment, and you put the purple thing in your hair, right?
Yes.
Okay, so how do you think your hair felt?
I feel like it feels a little moisturized
Moisturized.
or soft. It's sticky though.
Did you rinse it out properly?
Yes. I feel like, do you feel a little stick? A little, or
Like a little residue?
yeah, a little residue.
I don't know if you rinsed it out.
I felt like I did. Thoroughly. I did about 2 minutes.
Well, that'll just be how it is for this week. So are we doing another wash and go, twist out?
Yes, I love the wash and go. I went to work and everybody was raving about it. It lasted a while. My curls stayed defined. It stayed moistured. I really didn't have to do any maintenance to it. I just took it out of the bind and went. And so I would like to do that again.
When you say lasted a while, like what's a while?
Like for the week.
And what we need to do for this week as well is I should have had you take pictures so we can see how your hair looked throughout the week. So do you think you can handle that task for this week to take, like, it doesn't have to be every single day. Maybe you could take a picture tomorrow, then maybe again on Tuesday, and then maybe again on Friday.
I'll try my best.
Okay, so the people can see, like, because that's a lot of things, like a big concern that people have is they want to wear their hair out, but it doesn't last, like you said last week, or it's dry 2 days later, or they feel like they have to hide it. I actually just got a comment on a video yesterday. I think her name is Britt, and she said she's tried a lot of products, like salon products, and the only thing that worked for her was Capri, and that she usually hides her hair, but she felt confident enough to wear it out. And then also we have Asia, who I've been talking to a lot on YouTube, who also says that she loves my products and has been seeing less breakage. So I wanted to shout them out, and I love reading comments like that because it just makes me feel like really good about the work that I'm doing. So keep leaving me your comments if you use the products and you love them, and then I will share them here with other people. But yeah, so to do this wash and go, just like last week, we're using Capri's leave-in conditioner, and then we will also be using the flaxseed gel. In case you didn't see last week's video, the method that I'm using is working in very small sections, smoothing the product in and raking it in. So I usually will rake like this. Make sure you're getting the roots so that if you struggle with puffy roots, this is what's going to help you have that definition in your roots. That's why you have to work in small sections to, one, have control, but also have access to your roots. So I'm going to rake the product through and then also smooth it down just like that, and that'll help the curls form. If you have a tighter curl pattern, like tighter coils, you might want to do, I don't know what this method is called. It's not like a finger curl, but maybe, I don't know if it's a shingling, I don't know, but you might just want to take like a little bit of your hair and wrap it around like that. With tighter curls, I also like the raking method. and those are the two methods that I would try. So yeah, so anyways, like I was saying, I think that's actually all that I was saying. So yeah, you said it lasted a full week, or was it more like 6 days, 5 days?
I felt like it lasted a full week. And so I was excited about that I didn't have to do anything, really. But everyone noticed that I did something different. I normally do wash my hair. My curls are not as defined though normally, and normally I either do like a twist out or I leave it up or put it back or do something where my hair is kind of hidden or back. But this week everyone noticed that it was something different. Everyone noticed that it was moisturized. Everyone noticed that it just looked great.
One thing that I did want to say, I had it and then I lost it.
I wanted to ask because
oh wait, pause.
Okay.
I wanted to ask you, how long did the moisture last? Like, do you feel like by day 7 it was still moisturized, or was it like pretty dry by day 7?
I felt like it was still moisturized.
Okay, because last week I wanted to like what I said was that I wanted to see how long the moisture would last you, because if you did have higher porosity hair, we could seal it with something heavier, either like an oil, or we could use the twist out frosting just to give it another layer. So I didn't know if you wanted to try that this week, or if you felt like it was fine how it is.
I felt like it was fine, but it doesn't hurt to try just to see if it does have a different effect.
Okay, so we can try. I'm gonna layer instead of using an oil, because I mean, we have to just experiment. That's the whole thing. You don't know what works until you do it. So maybe this week we can do the leave-in conditioner and then a little bit of a twist out frosting, and then go in with the flaxseed gel. So I'm gonna go grab the twist out frosting. This is the twist out frosting and what it's just gonna do is add a layer onto your hair so that the moisture or the water doesn't escape as easily. So that's all the purpose of this is doing, just adding another layer to keep that water sealed in, which is good for high porosity naturals, because when you have high porosity, the water escapes very easily. So this will just help slow that process down. Does that answer your question?
Yes.
The only issue that I could see here is because your hair is also very fine, that it might be too much product. Okay, so I can kind of see how it might be maybe too much product. So, well, I didn't know I was going to add the twist out frosting when I added the leave-in conditioner, so it was a little heavy. So I'm just going to go lighter on both, but just add the layers, see how that does. What was the question that you wanted to ask?
So I thought about the protein, and I did, but this was like maybe 7 years ago. I saw online about adding like the egg and the mayonnaise for protein in the hair. So I did do that. I don't know if that is valid, or should you stick with like a protein, like how you purchase the protein, actual protein in the bottle, or what are your thoughts about that?
Well, people do get good results from they say they get good results from putting food in their hair, so I don't want to take away from that, but generally it's better to just eat the food that you're going to put in your hair, because your body also needs the protein for your hair. So, you know, whatever's in your blood is what gets passed on to your hair. And so if you don't have a lot of nutrients in your blood that your hair needs, your hair will often suffer, because the little nutrients that you do have is going to go to your vital organs. So if you're going to put like egg or mayonnaise in your hair, I'd rather you just eat it. But you know, if you did it and you got good results, I guess you would keep doing it, but I think just eat the food and then do like a store-bought protein treatment. That's what I would say.
And then I feel like there is a lot of spacing in my hair and my scalp. I wasn't sure if that is thinning, if it's hair falling out, or if it's just natural.
So the spacing is because you have low density hair. So when you took out your relaxer and then you underwent periods of stress, that can cause your follicles to be dormant. So You are born with all the hair follicles that you will ever have, so there's nothing you can do to produce new follicles. But sometimes your follicles can go dormant and make it look like you have less hair than you do. So the way that you would fix that, which is actually what I wanted to talk about this week as well, because I feel like even though you do have fine hair, there is a possibility that it could be a little bit thicker. And the only way that I know how to do that, aside from being consistent and having a better diet, is through scalp massages. So I would like you, ideally you want to do a scalp massage every single day for 5 minutes. I don't even do that. I want to get to that point, but typically that's what you would want to do. And you don't have to use anything fancy. You could use Capri's hair growth oil, because the main oil is pumpkin seed oil, and pumpkin seed oil is one of the best oils that you can use for your scalp. I would say the main thing you want to focus on is getting that circulation to your scalp, because that's what's going to help wake up those follicles and help restore that thickness that you have. It won't produce any new follicles like we talked about, but it will give you some of those follicles that might be asleep a chance to come back to life. Do you have a set of satin hair tie? So do you think you can commit to doing, even if you don't start off at every day, just a couple times a week?
I'll try my best. How long do you have to do something like that?
It does take months. It's not a quick process at all. So if you start today, by Christmas you can have fuller and thicker hair. And just like last time, you guys want to make sure you're using plenty of water and smoothing the water in your hair. Don't just spray it and then move on. Take a couple seconds to work it through your hair. So does that answer your question about your scalp and how it had a lot of space?
Yes.
It just is low density. Sometimes, you know, that is just how people's hair naturally is, but you've underwent stress and not really taking care of your hair, so a big part of that could be the cause. So there is a chance that you could fix that. So I would start with scalp massages. Even if you don't even use the oil, the biggest thing is just getting that circulation to your scalp going, and that's really what you want to focus on.
I saw online, if you lay on the bed and put your head like down so that the blood can flow to your brain, is that the same thing? Like it helps kind of with that as you massage? Does that help with that, or?
I don't know if that's safe. I feel like that was really popular on YouTube a while ago, but I don't feel like there's a need to do that. I feel like when you start doing things like that, it makes it harder to stay consistent. I feel like you can just be normal and massage your scalp sitting down or standing up or whatever. Okay, this is the final result. Are you gonna sit under the dryer again today?
Yes.
Okay, I don't think we need to show the final dryer because it's the same thing as last time. So I don't think you need to do that every single week. It pretty much looks exactly the same, just a little bit shorter. We're gonna work on scalp massages for this week. Maybe we'll do a live demo of that because she says she doesn't know how to do a scalp massage, which is just outrageous. But I did the 2 layering of the products, the leave-in conditioner and the twist out frosting, and it looks like it's dry and clear, so I don't think we're gonna have any issue with that. I was a little nervous. I kind of started to treat the twist out frosting a little bit like an oil, so using like a little dime size amount, and it looks good. It doesn't look like there's a lot of buildup, so we'll see if that makes any difference with how long she retains moisture. She said it lasted 7 days last time, so we'll just see if there's any difference, and then she's gonna take the pictures, and we will see you guys next week.